Oh, memories, huh? Hey, friend of the show and founder of lifestyle website and hit YouTube show Weekend at the Cottage, Nik Manojlovich is here to bring some of that country magic to a big city Monday morning with some sweet and savory treats that'll have friends and family begging for more. And we welcome St. Nick to the show. How you doing?
Good morning, George. Good, thanks.
Look, before we get into the recipes and what you've got for us today, you had a power outage up there at the cottage, but here you are. You've done it.
Yeah,
Everything's good?
I did fire up the generator. I was doing a test. I'm like, can you hear all that buzzing in the background? Can I still do this? But we did it.
Awesome.
Power's back on. Thank you to those essential services out there, right?
Yes,
Those guys did a
indeed.
great job restoring, and they're working very hard.
You know, that's part of cottage life, right? Sometimes you got to deal with,
yeah.
You know, it's the pain for gain, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Let's start with this holy trinity of treats. And by the way, there's a little payoff at the end. It's not a deep fake, it's a deep cake. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But cheesy
Yeah.
shortbreads, what have you got? What's this recipe? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we wanted to do something savory. I did a really nice recipe for savory Leicester cheese shortbread. So we wanted to use something akin to a cheddar. You're making very beautiful shortbread cookies. Savory flavor works perfectly for the holidays. I love pairing them out onto a charcuterie board. Easy to make. You can also do the dough in advance. So fantastic.
Yum, yum. They look really, really good. And those are two of my favorite things, cheese and shortbread in one dish. All right, let's get to the sweets, man. This is my thing. I've got a whole mouthful of sweet teeth, way more than a sweet tooth. This is seriously sticky toffee pudding. Tell us about it.
Well, we really wanted to dial down you being in the kitchen. We want you out with your family and friends this season. A very simple start to this very simple dessert. We're going to do a little bit of a dry mix. In that dry mix are things that are going to help this sticky toffee pudding work. A simple dry mix, and then we're going to take dates. We're basically making a cake with dates,
nice.
A little bit of baking soda, and then scalded milk. That hot milk in those dates are going to soften them up. They get gorgeous and tender. We wanted, again, to do this simple. We're using a food processor. Classics in a cake, right? Brown sugar, little bit of butter. We have a tiny bit of egg, and then a little bit of vanilla extract. We're going to zip all of those things together. And if you've got kids in the house, 1 tablespoon at a time, they're going to add that dry mix and then the dates. You zip it up and you are done. Into a baking dish, it goes into the oven and you're baking for just 30 minutes. It's quite fantastic.
Nick, when you're dealing with hot milk and then egg, do you have to be careful here at all that you don't get scrambled?
No, because you give the dates 15, 20 minutes to cool, and they cool down pretty quick, and then you're good to go.
Okay, that looks amazing, even in the food processor. What about the sauce here? Salted caramel sauce. That's a beautiful sounding thing too.
Yeah, and I just, spoiler alert, when this thing comes out of the oven, you're like, is that it? No, we're going to make the sticky caramel sauce. So we're taking brown sugar, eggs, and salt, salty sweet, right? We're going to cook it up, and then you add 35% cream to create this very thick, very thick, rich sauce. You poke the cake, you pour this over the cake, and it soaks it up like a sponge. Honestly, George, this is a moment. It's so incredible. Again, you know, me always pushing that flavor kind of profile. I then let this cake soak up all of that sauce. I'm going to dust it with sea salt flakes, and then we're getting ready to serve.
That's fantastic. You know, there's nothing like a good, solid, dense holiday cake, right? It just screams Christmas, but it's also got that fluffy edge to it because of the hot sauce. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, look, as promised, we're going to wrap this up with holiday fruit cake, but with a twist. Tell me about your recipe, Nick.
Yeah. So this year has been so interesting. We're able to get all of our secret ingredients for this holiday fruit cake. The orange peel, the sweet dark cherries. Over 75% of this cake is loaded with all of this great fruit and nut mix. The thing about our fruit cake, when you cut into it, aficionados call this the stained glass effect, where it's such a thin piece, such a thin piece of fruit cake. You hold it up and you can actually see through the fruit cake like stained glass. It's pretty spectacular.
You know, and see, here's the thing. Fruit cake kind of gets a bad rap, right? It's traditionally, people talk about it being sort of, you know, regifted, and the same one is sort of circulating around people's, friends and family circles like a brick over over years and years. I've never understood it because it was a punchline when I was a kid growing up, but I always loved it. Even the, sort of traditional one, and yours here is anything but. And I'm holding a piece of it right now, Nick. I know you said it's to be, if you slice it thin, it's stained glass to see through it. Not so. We cut a nice big 2-inch thick piece, and I'm going to try it with you live. Okay, deep cake time. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What do you think?
Bright with the dried fruit, dense
Best fruit cake.
and delicious. It's nutty, it's fruity, it's fabulous.
Trust me,
Nick.
I eat this every day.
Yeah. Well, I could eat the whole cake, and I just might if I can keep it out of Bill's hands. That's the only. Oh man, that's so good, Nick. Let me tell you. Quickly before we leave, tell us briefly a bit more about the site, the show, and where people can tune in and reach out to you for more desserts and ideas and recipe ideas.
So main website is weekendатthecottage.com. Tons of great stuff for your holidays. Again, my goal is to get you out of the kitchen and with your friends and family. You can also find us on our dedicated YouTube channel and also Instagram. We just love sharing all of this stuff. # weekendатthecottage.com.
That's Nik Manojlovich, Weekend at the Cottage. It's easy to find, delicious to eat. Nick, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you and yours, okay? Thanks.
You too. Thanks, guys.